Hello, my name is Marcelo and I'll be talking about the corruption in the news. In this case, talking about the article titled Israeli Diamond Tycoon Appeals Corruption Sentence in Switzerland. A couple of weeks ago, on August 29, 2022, the Israel businessman, entrepreneur, and owner of BCR, Benny Steinmetz, appealed after receiving a corruption sentence in Switzerland. The billionaire received in January of 2021 a sentence of 5 years in prison and a $50 million fine. Now, due to the sentence received a year and a half ago, he decided to return to the Geneva court in Switzerland to appeal the punishment. The allegations state that he and two others were accused by the Geneva prosecutor's office for involving themselves in corrupt acts of foreign officials and a falsification of several documents in order to put aside of various bribes to authorities and banks. The one that's making the most noise in series of briberies going all the way to almost 8 digits, involving the former wife or former and deceased president of Guinea, Lansana Conte, in the mid-2000s order to have some advantages, including coincidentally removing the mining rights from BCGR's competitor Rio Tinto for Guinea's resources of iron. As some suspect, coincidentally, BCR won the exploration licenses from 2006 to 2010. Estimates calculate that the money paid from Steinmetz from 2005 until the sudden death of Guinea's president in 2008 came to roughly $10 million. This news content clearly represents an act of corruption, though because corruption is the abuse of an entrusted power for the private gain that can be presented in many shapes and forms. In this case, by Steinmetz abusing his power and money to illegally obtain the rights to mine in Guinea by giving off bribes to the president. In Steinmetz's defense, they argued that they are favored to the country. This because Guinea contained one of the largest reserves of iron in a mountain range that had not been extracted. Due to that, many mining companies fought for the rights of mining the iron. But, based on Steinmetz's defense team, the fight on the rights done by the companies slowed down the country opportunities of gaining millions of dollars that they desperately needed. So, BCR claimed to be the first team who studied how viable and how efficient it could be extracted the mineral, and thanks to that, they came victorious in getting the rights. If the allegations are true, why would they do that? Well, the rational choice that probably went through the billionaire's mind was that considering BCR is his biggest source of wealth, he thought of the billions of dollars he could do. In this case, for $10 million in bribes, showing a huge profit, for example, in 2010, when selling 51% of the mining rights in Guinea for an astonishing $2.5 billion. So, his cost-benefit analysis was to get $10 million for a chance of getting caught and paying the consequences. In this case, maybe 5 years in prison and paying a $50 million fine for the benefit of $2.5 billion and him reaching a net worth of $1 billion. On the other side of the ex-president of Guinea, they could have done an economic analysis where they analyzed the decision of potentially taking or not the bribes. The country was in a bad time and they needed the money to support the challenges they had, and they knew that from them having deposits of iron would help if it was hard to obtain it. If they couldn't find a company to do that, the vast number of companies fighting for the rights. So, to maximize the scarcity of money the government needed, they trade off the opportunity cost in this case by giving away the rights in exchange for a good amount of money and eliminating the competition. For now, the millionaire is to this day free while he waits for the results of his appeal. The case has gone all around the world, already being investigated in Europe, Africa, and the United States, working to find solid evidence to finally prove or deny this case. The considered richest man of Israel has denied all charges and accusations against him, with his former lawyer, Mark Bonan, affirming that his client has not given a single dollar to the Guinean government under Conte's presidency. Evidence points that there was a sort of corruption involved, but until the judge confirms it and closes the case, anything can happen.